is the organizer and CEO of the nonprofit Lights for Love, www.lightsforlove, that's the number 4.org. And sitting in studio now to tell us his story and how this all got off the ground is Mr. Jimmy Bryan. How are you, Jimmy?
Good, good.
Welcome to Vegas Unwrapped.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. I want to just give a little backstory here, Mr. Cash. Jimmy and I met a few weeks back at Infinity Networking Group, and as you're familiar with the groups you belong to, you know, you stand up, you give a 30, 60-second commercial.
Right.
And all I needed to hear was the following words. You ready? Long Branch, New Jersey.
Wow.
Everything else, I don't care. He could have told me the sky was purple.
Stop.
If he told me the sky was purple, I would have believed him, because Long Branch is where my wife, you know, Robin and I, was actually where we got our first place right after we were, well, our second place after we got married was down there.
It's a good thing you're not there now,
No,
right?
that's for sure. Radar and the Sound Doctor were born in Monmouth Medical Center, so that's all I needed to hear right off of Bath Avenue down there, right, Jimmy?
Gotta love it.
Yep.
So let our audience know a little bit about yourself, you know, how you got into this, what precipitated this. I mean, I know it's nicely worded on your website, but let them know what's going on, man.
Well,
and then we'll get into the organization.
It actually started about 10, 11 years ago. I smoked for 35 years and was wound up coughing one day and kind of passed out a little bit, ran off the edge of the road, and
Oh, wow.
I got out of the car, I was coughing, and I spit blood.
Eesh.
And I thought, well, you know how guys are.
Right.
Better quit smoking.
Yeah, right.
Instead of going to the doctor.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Self-diagnosis.
And, yeah, self-diagnosis. So I did, and kept on going on with life and everything like that. And about 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with emphysema COPD.
Okay.
Okay, stage 3,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only 4. I'm like, oh, wow. But I was living in New Jersey at the time. I wound up moving into Vegas in 2010.
Okay.
Okay, and
Do you think the climate was going to be something that would help you, or you know, the dry as opposed to the hot and humid, or whatever you know, Jersey is either cold or humid or hot or humid.
yeah. Well, the dry has helped. Okay, the cold's not too good for me right now. I usually wear a mask or something when I go outside. But what happened was I continued going to the doctors and having exacerbations, and I was in and out of the hospital, in and out, in and out, in and out, and you know, it got to the point where the doctors said, "Listen, there's not a whole lot we could do for you."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know, you have a disease that's progressive. It's not going away,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, we're giving you all the medicine that we can give you. All of a sudden, they put me on oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, shoo. So, you know, just trying to take it easy, and you know, they tell you different things to do, but they're giving you, you know, I must take 18 pills in the morning.
Sure.
Then all of a sudden it's oxygen 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
I have sleep apnea on top of it, and finally they said, "Listen, there's nothing really else that we can do for you."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we think it's time that you go on hospice.
Okay.
And I was like, "Wow,
Uh-oh.
uh-oh, big time."
Right.
You know, I'm 58 years old, and I'm thinking, I'm not ready to die.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, I've made my peace with God and everything like that, but at the same time,
Not ready.
I got things I like to do. You know what I mean? I got one of them done. I went to see the Grand Canyon. That was
Right.
exciting, everything like that. But you know, as it goes on, I wind up. They send the hospice people to my house, and I'm talking to the lady, and she tells me, "Well, you can't have this, and you can't do that, and you can't have this, and you can't have that." And I was like, "Forget about it." And I had seen the commercials for Nathan Addison Hospice with Brad Garrett.
Right.
And actually, I live on Buffalo, and it was right down the street.
Right.
So I was driving past one day. I said, "You know what? Let me stop and talk to them." And I stopped and talked to them, and they were just the sweetest, nicest people.
Sure.
I couldn't believe how compassionate they were and everything like that. And I wound up signing on with Nathan Addison Hospice. And then Actually, I got to back up a little bit. Prior to that, any time that I called the 911, I could see from my front gate, or from my condo, the front gate, I could see the ambulance come in.
Right,
And they wouldn't find me for 10 minutes.
right. Well, that's dangerous.
You know, they wouldn't find my condo.
Right.
You know, and, you know, they, you know, I'm like scared. You know
Sure,
what I mean?
sure.
I mean, I'm from the East Coast. They don't know. Nobody knows me here, and they don't really care. You know,
That's
what I
right,
mean? For a long
exactly.
time, I'm like, whoa, guys.
Exactly.
You know. So, what happened was, when you go on hospice, they bring everything to you.
Right.
Oxygen, the doctors, the nurses, the pharmacy, anything and everything comes to you. Okay. Well, everybody's calling me from the parking lot saying,
Can't
"Listen,
find you, can't find
can't
you."
find you, can't find you."
Right.
All right. And I told my my girlfriend slash roommate, I said, "Listen, I'm going to take a red light bulb and put it on the patio." And she says, "No, you can't. They got these DNRs, and you know the association and the community won't allow it." So listen, I don't care
Right.
if they're allowing it or not. I don't know about anybody else. When I dial 911, when I hang up the phone,
They better find me.
I want them to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean, at the door.
Sure.
So I put the light out.
Okay.
Okay, and everybody loved it. When somebody was coming, I turned the light on. If I called 911, I turned the light on. If oxygen was coming, no matter who was coming,
Sure.
what was happening, I turned that light on. And a couple of other nurses asked me from Nathan Madison Hospice, "Can we borrow this idea for some of our other patients?" I said, "Sure, I don't care. I mean,
Sure.
you know, it's not like I'm a brain surgeon. I figured out some bright idea, you know what I mean?" But as it turns
Oh,
out,
yes,
Yes,
you
you
did.
did. Yeah,
as it
exactly.
turns out, it did become a bright idea.
Right.
Okay. And the first responders loved it. Everybody loved it. And I thought back and I kept going to the pulmonologist and this and that, and he had sent me in for two different places, to UCLA and Cedars-Sinai for a lung transplant. And I was denied on both. Nevada State Medicaid doesn't pay for it. Okay, and that's like, wow, that's kind of depressing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I thought, you know, that little light bulb is such a lifesaver. You know, if I order a pizza, I put the red light on. Okay.
Right. Has many purposes.
Well,
Sure.
it comes hot.
Sure.
You know,
Exactly.
right? So does the Chinese food.
That's
You know what I mean? It finds you very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, you know, this is, you know, I got to be able to do something with this. And I felt in my heart to tell people about it. And then
Sure.
I thought, you know what? How am I going to tell people about it?
right.
And I was talking to a friend of mine who owns Nevada Processing Center. And he says, "Come on down. We'll do the paperwork for you for a corporation for 5013C, right?" And my object is, you know what? There's not a lot they can do for me, but there's a lot that I can do for somebody else.
And I'm going to stop you right there because that'll be a nice segue right after our break
Okay.
to talk about the organization, how you got it developed, and how we're going to help get the word out. Because this guy will be meeting with the mayor in a couple of weeks at the end of the month to help kick it off on the local level. And we're hopefully going to be, as we are, Mr. Cash, part of all of that by having Jimmy on the show right now.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it.
All right, you're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. Jimmy Bryant, Lights for Love. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.